Alright guys, I've been wanting to do this video for a little while now. I've had this car for about a year, so I'm finally ready to give my overview of it. So this is a 2005 Saab 92X. It's the Aero Edition, also known as the Saab because it is mechanically identical to the WRX and for the 2006 model as well, which is more rare. This is a very rare car with only about 10,500 units made between the 05 and 06 span. This is a 05 model, which is a little more common. It does have the sunroof, turbo, and 5-speed manual, which is also a little bit less common. This is the factory Arctic Silver color. I believe that's what Saab calls it. I think Subaru calls it something else, or I might have that vice versa. Anyway, I'm gonna, as you can see, I just washed it. I'm gonna show you some of the modifications that I've done and future plans and stuff like that. So I got this last year in November, and it is now the beginning of December of the next year. So when I got this car, it was completely stock and had about 80,000 miles on it. It was from Dallas, so no snow either, so no salt damage or anything. This was, I believe, the car's first snow because it had been in Texas its entire life. So yeah, we'll get to some of the stuff that happened in that in a minute. First, I have a Yakima Load Warrior. This is something that a local guy was selling brand new for 200 bucks, so I decided to pick it up. And it does have a pass fairing on it, which is a company that my friend started up. I of course have my Instagram name here. And any of my pictures with this, it's called Pass. I have tagged the guy who makes them. So if you would like to get one for yourself, be sure to contact him or visit the website. So a couple things is that there's a dent right here from the previous owner. That's going to be getting pulled this spring. So is the other damage that I show you. And I do have a few more stickers back here. And the other damage is right here. Also left by the previous owner. The only damage I have done is a thick scratch right there, which may be fixed later if I can find someone to do that for cheap. So let's go ahead and take a quick look inside. Again, this is a daily driver, so this is just how it is right now. I do have the access port from the WRX. That usually sits right there, but I actually just sent it out to my tuner so he can upload the new tune for this car, since we were having some issues transferring it over. But we're currently at 94,404 miles, and that is almost to my oil change. I do have a fresh Castrol GTX high mileage 5W30 ready, and a filter for that in the back. So I do have a aftermarket head unit there because there was no way to connect my phone and I needed that. So there's the 5-speed I talked about, and yeah, pretty much identical to the WRX. They do have these two-tone chairs, which it's a love-hate relationship. They look really nice, but unfortunately these chairs stain like crazy. I just cleaned them really good with the carpet washer a couple months ago, and I don't even eat in here, and you can just see that there's stains, and it's pretty bad on the passenger side too. You also have matching door cards. So I'll go ahead and, oh, that's locked. Never mind. I'll go ahead and talk about the wheels. These are Inkies. They're 17-inch stock width, stock everything, stock offset. I wanted to make sure that they would fit fine with this car, so I just picked these up for about $700 last March with brand new tires, and the wheels were brand new too. So far they have zero curb rash because I'm extremely careful with being around curbs, because I want to keep these things in really great shape. And the reason I did get these is because my stock ones unfortunately got cracked because I hit a curb in the snow. It was really bright, and I was on a road I wasn't familiar with, and I thought it went straight, but it actually turned. So I hit a curb and unfortunately cracked 2 wheels, but I was able to sell those set of stock wheels for $400, luckily. So I'll go ahead and talk about the stuff up here first. As you can see, this is carbon fiber hydro dipped. I sent that off to a guy in Colorado to get that done. I didn't know it was that cheap. I was thinking it was really expensive, so I'm like, message him, and he said he would do it for $75. So I sent that off, and also I do have a Plasti Dip part there, which later when this bumper gets repainted this spring, because underneath it's pretty much looks like that underneath the Plasti Dip. I'm going to get black actually painted where it is black right there. I think that just looks a lot better than silver all the way through. And also later I am sending my fog light covers as well as my mirrors, and I'm gonna send those off to get hydro dipped as well in the same carbon fiber. So now that we're done with the exterior, I'll show you in the motor, and then we'll wrap up the video. So, as you can see, it's the EJ207 motor from the WRX from year models 2002 to 2005 in the US. 94,000 miles like I showed you, and basically what's done to this car is a turbo excess fully atmospheric blow-off valve, which I picked up for $100 brand new from a friend. He didn't want it anymore, and that may be giving me some issues, so I'm going to look into that later. Brand new battery replaced a few months ago. We tried to jump start my car from the original battery, and it just blew up and caught on fire, and also blew a fuse in my box for the ignition, and also 2 fuses in my amp, so that had to be replaced. So recently done, I do have a catless up and down pipe. The down pipe is eBay wrapped in the fiberglass wrap, and the up pipe you're not going to be able to see, but it's a NVIDIA. It's not wrapped, and we had to pull the turbo to get that out, unfortunately, but so far everything's working okay on the Cobb Stage 2 tune for now, and I'll be getting the access port back in a few days, hopefully, and have a refined tune with more power and more reliability than just the Cobb tune. So that's pretty much everything underneath the hood. Not much else to say other than I took the padding off there. This hood was, and the dog freaking out in the background, this hood was carbon fiber wrapped. I originally purchased it for the roof, but it was like 2 inches too short, so we decided to put it on the hood instead, and then later I took it off because it was starting to wrinkle. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what else to show you guys about this car. There is an exhaust clip on my channel, which I think is the previous video. Not 100% on that, but be sure to check that out if you're interested in how this car had sounded. And I'm going to go ahead and, before I forget, talk about the modifications I'm going to do later. So, like I said, there are dents on it, so those are going to be fixed later in the spring. And I'm saving up for that right now, and then in the meantime, in the winter, where my car's not going to have to be in the shop for weeks upon weeks, because all I have is a bike to drive, and I don't want to drive that in the winter. But later, while this car's in the shop in the spring, before that, I'm going to do new window tint. As you can see, it's sort of a bluish purple color, and it's not as dark as I'd like it. I'm going to go 25% all around. And also the other thing I'm going to do is get a WRX spoiler. This one is a low level spoiler. The WRX one is more squared off, and it goes up at a more angle, at a higher angle. So this one is faded, as you can see. That blackish part right there is actually fading. So that's going to be fixed. And also, I'm going to do lowering springs coming up pretty soon, because this car is just way too high. I don't think it's that bad until I pull up to another car like this that is lowered, and you can just really tell it needs to be lowered pretty bad. But those are the things I'm going to do during the winter, and also later. This isn't for sure yet, but injectors from Injector Dynamics, a bigger fuel pump, and STI turbo with the STI intercooler. So that should give me hopefully around the 300 horsepower mark, but for now, after this tune, I should be around 250. And that's pretty much as much engine mods I want to do until what I just said a second ago. So anyway, it's dark right now. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Thanks for watching this quick overview, and remember to check out my video if you want to see the exhaust.